So I'm going to share with you 3 steps to quit drinking and start living. So the first thing that I want to say is well done, because you've actually done this week, even if you failed every day, failed, not that we say failed, but even if you drank your way through reset, you've still taken 2 difficult steps. Because the most difficult thing, in my opinion, with this whole thing is accepting that you've got a problem. It took me a long time. I just thought I was fine, holding it all together, and I was far from fine. So you've accepted that, yes, there is a bit of a problem here. And the second thing that you've done is that you've reached out for help, because that's very hard as well. So well done, well done. You've done the hardest things, and now we're looking at what you're going to do next. By the end of this webinar, I'll try to make it quick. It's going to be like 20 minutes max. You're going to understand the 3 essential steps you need to take to really get started on this journey. And also I'm going to talk a little bit about our 21-day Accelerate Challenge, and we will know whether or not it's something that you want to do. So how I got sober, in a nutshell, I went to AA, but that didn't work for me. So I literally did the research. I educated myself. I studied neuroscience, psychology, biology. And I was also, my background is in training and development and executive coaching and behavior change. So I was able to pull all that knowledge together and build a toolkit for myself to use. But most importantly, I found my people, because I was doing everything on my own, but it was very hard and I was having lots of wobbles. And eventually I went to a 1-day workshop in London where I met other people like me that were drinking a bottle of wine a night, more at weekends, and they were all women with good jobs, nice families, etc. And I just related to these people, whereas at AA, I couldn't really relate to people. It was very male orientated here in South Africa, and they were further down the line than me. I was on my way there, but I hadn't lost everything. I was keeping everything going, which took an enormous amount of energy, but I was keeping the show on the road. So once I'd found my people, got sober, then I found my passion, because I had time to think, time to be creative, time to think, what do I really want to do? So that's how I did it. But the one thing that literally changed my life was finding my people. And we will understand you at Tribe Sober, and you'll feel like you've come home. And I love this quote by C.S. Lewis, that friendship is born in the moment when one person looks at another and says, "You too, I thought I was the only one." There's such a relief when you meet other people that have the same issue. And there are billions of people in the world with this issue. There's no need to feel broken. You're not the bad guy here. Why do we get stuck in our drinking? Because we think it's about willpower, and it's not about willpower. You can start off with willpower. You can maybe even get through dry January with willpower, but at some point it will run out, because that's what willpower does. It's like a muscle. People try and moderate, and that's hopeless. Anybody that's tried and failed to moderate will know that's not the way to go. They try to do it alone, and they've no idea how to do it. I remember realizing that I wanted to choose life, so I would have to do this, but I had no idea how to do it. I thought, do I just grit my teeth and hope for the best? And that's not the way to do it. And people get caught in this struggle between your conscious and subconscious mind. Your conscious mind is saying, you've got to stop this drinking, it's destroying you. Your subconscious mind is saying, but how will I have fun? I'll lose all my friends. How will I relax? You have this battle going on in your head, and it's an uncomfortable feeling. So you've taken those 2 hardest steps that I mentioned. You've accepted that there's a problem, and you found us. You found us via reset. Oh, sorry, I'm letting people in here. So the other steps, the 3 steps that I talk about in this webinar, step 1, probably the most important one, you've got to change your mindset. You've got to change the way that you see alcohol. Step 2 is rewire your brain. When I discovered that alcohol had rewired my brain, I found that absolutely terrifying. But the good news is that we can repair that damage that it's done to our brain if we get sober and keep at it. And step 3 is find your people. So let's just elaborate very slightly on these steps. This is a whole training course, so I'm just giving you a little nugget from it. Mindset. If you can change your mindset, then your desire to drink will diminish on its own. It won't be a struggle. And you'll look at alcohol in such a different way. And our colleague Lucy, you haven't met her on this, but when people come to Zoom, new people, and they say, oh, but I've got such good wine in the house. What am I going to do with all this wine? And she always says, just give it to someone you don't like. And I love that because it's poison, basically. So we've got to start seeing it as poison. And we've just been brainwashed by the alcohol industry for decades, and now it's time to start seeing the truth and fighting back. So you'll be free from the desire to drink once you change your mindset. Yeah, somebody mentioned, I can't remember who it was, that it was on this reset that she has 1 alcohol-free day a week. I remember thinking when I heard that, oh, that must be so difficult, because it means that she's never free of it. There's always a little bit of alcohol there every week. And it also means that she's using willpower. And I imagine that she's doing that 1 day a week, a little bit like I used to do dry January. I would literally grit my teeth, use willpower, and be longing for February. So if you're just doing that 1 day every week, thinking, oh, at least I can have a drink tomorrow, there's no kind of freedom in that, because once we really stop, then all the benefits come in, so that the healing can't begin, even if you're just having 1 day a week. So we can rewire your brain. That's the second step you need to do. And you do that with repetition, because you have to build a new neural pathway. You've got a neural pathway, a drinking pathway in your head because you've been drinking and repeating that behavior day after day. So you've actually got a neural pathway around drinking. And what you need to do now is replace that pathway with a healthy habit. And you do that healthy habit just like you've been doing the drinking. I used to go out of my house at 6 o'clock every evening and just go for a long walk every night until I'd built a healthy habit, because 6 o'clock was when I used to open my bottle of wine. So you can rewire your brain, and Accelerate is perfect to help you to do that, because it will help you build that new habit. And of course, you need community, you need a judgment-free space, you need positive role models. I hope that just listening to the fabulous Lorraine there inspired you. With Tribe Sober is full of wonderful people that have done this thing. They're just glowing with it and so enthusiastic. And we've got some ambassadors, we've got cheerleaders, and all of these people are volunteers. Lynn is a volunteer, and she does so much for us. And they're volunteers because they love being sober, and they're passionate about alcohol-free living, and they want to share that passion with other people and get other people on board. So you do need a new tribe, because we have a drinking tribe, don't we? And now we need somebody that will really understand what we're doing. Because your family will probably tell you, oh, just cut down a bit. And your drinking buddies will tell you not to be so ridiculous. So you need people that understand, people that have been there. There's a quote from Lynn. after she did Breaking Free, she said, I never knew I needed a community until I had one. So the question for you is, are we your people? The reason we do these resets is to give you a flavor for the kind of work that we do and the kind of community that we are. So we are about 300 members, and we're all stages of the journey. There's people that have been sober for years, and there's people that are just beginning, and everything in between. Mostly female and mostly a bit older, although we've got our lovely Amanda, who is our baby. She's 35 or 36, not quite sure. And we're mostly from the UK, Ireland, US, and South Africa. And I've got some pictures of them all here. So as I said, they're all volunteers, and even Lucy here, who's on our team. Lynette is our head coach. She has her own coaching business. Myself and Monica work for Tribe Sober full-time. And that's Lorraine, who's our relatively new ambassador. And in fact, this is Sarah, our very newest ambassador. So these are amazing people, and they're just loving their sobriety. Oh, here's a little clip.
You've been wanting to quit drinking for, like me, many years, 2 decades, in fact, and you have no sobriety or periods of sobriety, and you want that permanent change of perspective, belief. This might be the place for you. It sure was for me.
So let's talk about Accelerate. 21 days, that'll get you through the hardest bit. You've done really well, a lot of you that are here already, with the 2-3 days, but it's not going to carry on being quite so easy, probably. So you're going to need a little bit of support. 21 days is going to get you through that hard bit. Once you've got 21 days on your belt, you'll start to feel confident, and you'll think, I can do this. And most importantly, you'll get glimmers of how good alcohol-free living can be, and that'll motivate you to continue. It'll enable you to break the drinking cycle, you know, that cycle where you wake up thinking, I'm not drinking today, and then 5 o'clock you're at it again. Already after the end of 21 days, you'll have more energy, less anxiety, you'll look better, you'll feel better. And you'll also get a feeling for being a tribe member, and you'll understand, you'll realize that's for you, or maybe it's not for you, but at least you will have given it a good try. So we only take 20 people on each Accelerate because we want to give them personal attention. And the idea is that you travel through a 21-day journey. That journey starts on Saturday, the 8th of August, which I will remember because it's my birthday. 8th of August start, 21 days, 20 people. We give you a tracker. So every day we want you to color in your alcohol-free day. There'll be 4 Zoom meetings a week, because for that period of the Accelerate, you are a tribe member. So you get all the benefits that our members get, which include 4 Zoom meetings a week. And of course, fully engaged chat groups, the WhatsApp groups, very lively. We also have an online course. So Monica will be releasing a module every Monday. So that's a 3-week course that will take you through the science and the psychology of it. And you'll always get personal attention. So you've got myself, you've got Monica, Lynette, our coach, and the ambassadors. So 3 weeks is the hardest part. It's long enough to build a new habit. Support 24/7, literally, and 4 Zoom meetings a week. Because we cross the time zones, there's always someone awake to listen to you. And this is what goes on in your brain over these 21 days. You might be pretty tough this first week, but gradually the dopamine receptors will begin to rebalance, and you'll start to feel a little bit more stable. 10 to 15 days. That's often when you get these glimmers of hope. And then it just improves and improves. So what do you get? You get your welcome meeting on the 8th of August. It's a Zoom. So you'll meet the other 19 people that are on Accelerate. You'll be put on a WhatsApp group just with these accelerators. You'll get your tracker, you'll get training modules, Zoom meetings a week. And you'll be surprised what close bonds you'll make with your small group of 20, because you'll be talking to them a lot for 21 days. And you'll get to know the tribe, the wider tribe as well. You'll get, Amanda's been to several of these meetings. I think she might even be there now. You met Grania yesterday. Heidi, I think, came in once, but Heidi is one of our US cheerleaders. So by the end of Accelerate, you will have broken that drinking cycle. You won't be stuck in Groundhog Day. You'll look better, feel better. You'll feel motivated to continue this life-changing journey. You'll realize that it is worth the hard work and the effort. And you'll be connected. And you'll have your tribe within a tribe, which will be your Accelerate group. So the investment, it's very affordable, in my opinion. We're talking about £25, 28 euros, $30, 250 rand. And that is equivalent to 1 month of tribe membership. So if you're interested, you need to go to our website, which is 𝐶𝐨𝐬𝐵.com, and you'll see a graphic on the homepage, and just click on there and you'll have all the information about Accelerate. Plus there'll be a button like this saying click here, and that'll take you straight through to the payment page. So let's just think about the investment here. If you're in the USA, that's about 3 bottles of wine. And if you're anything like me, you drink a lot more than 3 bottles of wine in a month. So in effect, you're saving money here. And in the UK, it's also about 3 bottles of wine. And yes, I've just noted 3 bottles everywhere. So really, less than a weekend of drinking. And what happens after Accelerate? What happens after these 21 days? You'll be feeling great. You'll be settling into your alcohol-free lifestyle. And remember, the really exciting bit is that, and a lot of us didn't even know this until we did it, but quitting drinking is just the start. It's 10% of your recovery journey. The other 90% is building an alcohol-free lifestyle that you genuinely enjoy. So you can continue your transformation as a tribe member. If you want to go in that direction, then you don't have to do anything because you've already signed up, and your 1-month subscription will automatically repeat. But if you decide that you don't want to stay as a tribe member, you just send us a WhatsApp and say, cancel my membership. And we do that straight away. There's no drama. Are you still on the fence? There was a study done by a sobriety group called Tempest, and they asked hundreds of people in recovery. They asked them, how long did they worry about their drinking? How long did they hop on and off that old wagon? How long did they try and fail to moderate? And the average was an amazing 11 years. Some people it was 20 years, 25 years. Others it was 2-3 years, but they took the average. And I thought, I was quite staggered when I saw that. But then I remembered that I spent the whole of my 50s trying and failing to moderate. So it is quite accurate. So remember, that's 11 years of struggling in shame and silence before reaching out for help. But you guys have already reached out for help, so you're already ahead there. So why not end the struggle today and do something different? Because if you carry on drinking, your life isn't going to change if you're lucky and you don't get some nasty disease. But it certainly won't evolve. It won't improve, because I think alcohol keeps us stuck It keeps us stuck in a cage. We're like Lorraine's eagles. You've got two choices here. Excuse me. You can either do nothing, stay stuck where you are in this kind of internal struggle for an 11 more years. Your life will stay the same. Drinking will get worse because that's what it does. Or you can sign up for 𝐸𝐶𝐿 and begin this life-changing journey. You can fulfill your potential and become the person you were meant to be. I think, I'm not sure if you get this podcast on Reset, but we've got a guy that we quite often collaborate with, Ken Middleton, and he always says, even if alcohol doesn't destroy you, it will prevent you from reaching your potential. And how sad is that, not to reach our potential in life? So really choose your hard. It will be hard, 𝐸𝐶𝐿. I'm not saying it's a walk in the park, but if you're curious, if you listen, if you learn, if you lean on the other people for support and lean on the ambassadors and your team, we'll get you through that hard bit. So much harder just to carry on doing what you're doing, more and more alcohol. You get more dependent, more isolated, more anxious, and you put your health at major risk. So if you're still on the fence, think about what alcohol has stolen from you. Is it time to say enough? Look at these things that it steals from us. I'm not going to read them all because you can all read, but the sleep is a huge one. You'll hear about how much better people sleep. This fatigue, it builds up and it builds up if you've been drinking for years. And suddenly, not suddenly, it does take a few weeks to normalize, but you'll sleep so much better. The REM cycles, the REM sleep is that deep, restful sleep where we dream. And we're supposed to get about 7 a night. If you're a drinker, you'll get 2. So that is a big one. Your look. We like our accelerators to take a selfie on day 1. The health, obviously. Time. You'll be amazed how much more time you've got. Time just evaporates when you start drinking. The money, of course. Moderate drinker at a US figure we did there, £2,500 a year. Peace of mind and energy. You heard Lorraine say she's getting such surges of energy now. And motivation. I never really felt like doing much when I was a drinker. It was just about getting through the day. But you'll get creative, you'll get ideas, and you'll be motivated to put those ideas into practice. So wouldn't it be worth it to be alcohol-free without feeling deprived? To break free from the guilt, the blame, and the shame, to end the struggle and begin to love yourself again. You'll feel such pride every time you color in your tracker with an alcohol-free day. That is a big one, because we're on a path to destruction if we're drinking more and more. We're not taking care of ourselves at all, and we know that. So it's wonderful to reverse that and to wake up full of energy and joy. So sobriety is liberation, not deprivation. So many people don't do this because they just focus on what they're going to lose. But in fact, they're going to gain an awful lot, and they're going to get freedom. So please get excited for this life-changing journey. Starts on the 8th of August, 21 days. We have 20 places. Registration is open for the whole of this week. The places do go quite quickly, so I would recommend that you sign up now if you're going to. Yeah, 21 days of structure, support, and accountability. I think that's... Oh, no, we've got a last word from one of our members.
Hi, my name's Ilan. I'm 55 years old, and I decided to quit drinking just over 6 months ago. It was while I was listening to a podcast one day, I came across this lady who struck a chord called Janet Gorham. She had set up a group called Tribe Sober. It was a global community with people on there who had been sober for many years, some for many minutes, and everything in between. And so I immediately went onto her website and signed up, and have not regretted it. Every single day I tap into the WhatsApp messages. It's such a nice feeling. And by literally 6 months later, I feel like I know these women. We have a Zoom coffee on Saturday where we'll check in. So I couldn't recommend Tribe Sober more to fill in that huge gap, which is community, support, help, love, tips, you name it. So get on, go and do it. Don't even hesitate for one moment. And good luck to you in your sober journey.